Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Banished from the Hero's Party. I Decided to Live a Quiet Life in the Countryside, Volume 1. Original stories by Zappon, art by Masahiro Ikeno, a character design by Yasumo. And let's get the rest of the team. Translation is Delucia, and then lettering by Dayeun Kim, and published by Yen Press. And I think this came out in about April. We're getting back into the manga groove. So this is a really solid start. I really enjoyed this. I'm doing my best to pick up first volumes to kind of dive in and get a nice different taste of what's out there. So this story is about a guy named Red. And this is so let's back up. So this is a world where everyone's kind of born with skills. You work to advance your skills. You actually kind of know what your skills is, which feels a little weird at like your level. So in this case, this guy's name is Red, and he was just born with like a really high level. He has no other skills. The only skills he has are his common skills that like everyone has. So he was born with a really high level, which means like once everyone kind of gets to that level, he's kind of useless. So he started off as this warrior that's part of like the hero's party, and eventually they're like, you need to go. You're not really bringing anything else to this. So he decides to take off and go live a quiet life in this town. And builds up his common skills, and he eventually decides he wants to open up an apothecary. After a while, a former party member who he became friends with named Rit pays him a visit and says she wants to live with him. Thing is she's kind of like a well-known princess and like a really high hunter and known entity. So what starts off first is kind of like a hero who's just kind of like finding his new role in the world, turns into like a romantic comedy. And you know what? It works. It really works. I loved this debut. There was some decent action, and but really it just comes down to like, this is just like a rom-com. This is a rom-com set in a fantasy world. Like, there's not much more to it. And like, I'll admit, I kind of like rom-coms, so it's not too surprising I enjoyed this. But like, it's well done. It's good. Like, there's tension, but it's comedic tension. It doesn't play into the manga sexualization, which I'm like not the biggest fan of. Not that, I don't like that stuff. It's just like, it's kind of overplayed at this point. It's just like flirty between them. And I think the other thing that's really solid is that it builds this world, that you get a good idea as to like who Red is and like how things work in this world, and it just works as a really good introduction to everything. I mean, the thing that I think is like interesting is like, I'm noticing that a lot of this recent manhwa, like I don't know how far it goes back, they all seem to kind of use the same basic ideas. In this case, there's hunter parties that are level E through A, and then there's the S, which is above A, which is the same thing as solo leveling, and I'm going to guess it's the same in other stuff. I just really kind of find it fascinating, like this taxonomy, these concepts are kind of just all across, and like no one's doing anything differently, instead of just being like, they're level 1 through 5, or, whatever, XYZ, it's all E to A, and then S being above it. It seems to be kind of a standard, and this does that as well. I mean, it's good in that you become familiar with all of that, but I just find it a little fascinating that it's something that we're seeing over and over and over again. But overall, like, I really like it. This is all about learning about the world, getting things set up, and building these characters. Like, I'm definitely reading the second volume of this. I enjoyed it. Like, this is some good stuff. The art is solid. Like, it's pretty good. With some, the action it does show is good. But really, like, it's just got, I think, good detail. It plays off the kind of manga tropes a little bit, like visual tropes a little bit, but doesn't kind of overdo it. It's solid. It kind of show like the later stuff. Yeah, we'll go with that. People kind of bust out the poses and do that stuff, but like, really, it's just a lot of them talking and chatting and getting to know each other, and I mean, it's a rom-com. Like, it's totally a rom-com. There's not much more to it, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it's just, at this point, I'm already at the like, will they or won't they? So yeah, I mean, it's a good read. It's really entertaining, and I think it takes kind of that fantasy formula and where I thought this was going to go, and and breaks it a bit. So I'm really pumped about it. I can't wait to read more of it, and I highly recommend it. You can go get this at comic shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. It'll tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own copy. They'll most likely be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage by doing that. You support our site, so thank you. I want to thank Yen Press for hooking us up with this review copy, and of course, appreciate you all watching. If you are into manga, if you're into comics, graphic novels, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading that manga, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.